Hello, today I'm going to be showing you 6 web apps that you can use within the classroom that help students engage in their learning and also make it a little more interactive and fun for them to participate within the classroom. So the first one I'm going to show you is called All App. And All App is a way to get around the traditional Expo marker and whiteboard. I know if your teacher's similar to myself, my whiteboard is actually consumed with a smart board, so I have very little space to write on it. And the whole left side of to the left of the smart board is consumed with standards and what we're going to cover in the classroom for the day. So I just have very little space for my students to write. So All App is just such a great tool to have when you're in a situation like this. So All App is really engaged for students that maybe have a BYOD device and they want to work together collaboratively to think about their learning. So if you look at the screen, I've already written welcome and I've iTech. And if you look over here on the left, you can see there's a lot of different options you can use within writing. So let's just change the color up here real quick. Let's pick this. And then you can write in your class number if you want to. And then one of the things I want you to understand is that this is a great way for students to kind of think collaboratively. And if you need to, if you have, let's say you have one person in charge and they're making the shots, you can come here to collaborate and they can say everyone can edit on this, or you can allow everyone to view. And if you want to do that, you can copy this link or you can provide them with a QR code. So there's a lot of different ways to allow the collaboration to go on. But the biggest thing I like about this app is it allows students to work together interactively. And it could be also used as an exit ticket if students want to write down something for that as well. The next app I like is Skype. Skype's a great tool. I've used this to communicate with my brother when he was overseas. And back in his prime days, when it first started out, the quality was not there. It's just not very good. But now, obviously, you can see with the usability with this that you have high quality photos that you can access as well as video in real time that allows you to see and communicate with people all over the world. But if you have a student collaboratively working on a project with another student in your class, this is a great tool for them to communicate. And also, it covers the basis of communicating between devices that are not the same. So, for example, if I have an iPhone, my student has an Android, and we need to communicate, there'd be a qualm with that because the usability of FaceTime is only with iPhones. So if you have this app, it allows you to negotiate between different types of technology to communicate with each other. So that's one of the things I really enjoy about using Skype. It allows you just to have that communication ability between different types of technology. The next thing I'll show you is Google Cardboard. I was very fortunate to be able to participate in the trial run of this a few years ago when they were trying it out, and we got to have a Google Expedition within our lab. And it was just a great opportunity for students to get exposure to different parts of the world and kind of get them thinking about things outside their classroom and kind of knocking down the walls and allowing them to see what's out there in the real world. So to make this go into action, you have to have the cardboard sourcing like here, the viewer. And there's different types you can buy. You can spend as little as you want or as much as you want to buy a viewer to do this. They're a little bit pricey. I was looking at the cost of it, and it's about $25 for 2 of these. So if you're a teacher that's trying to use this in your classroom, I would highly suggest that you save up for a little bit, obviously, but maybe make this a station rather than a whole classroom experience to make it more affordable for a teacher to use. Or if you have a grant that you can apply for, you could use that as maybe a grant to apply for. The other thing that you can see is the students can bring in their mobile device, and as long as it can upload the latest software, you can actually use this with pretty much any device, which I really like that. So I'm going to show you guys in a little video really quickly.
Great Wall of China.
We got to see the place itself, so we could actually.
So if you noticed with the clip you saw right there that the teacher was holding up the iPad, the teacher can control the learning with the iPad.
Actually understand what she was talking about.
How long would it take to walk the length of the Great Wall of China? So much more enriching than just showing them a picture or just having them read about it.
And like we said in our readings this week, it's really important when you design your lessons to make sure that the content you're trying to cover in your lesson is the first part that you want to be discovered with your students, and then incorporate the additional apps and things that you want your students to learn and rehearse. So Google Expeditions is a great tool to help your students learn. and engage with other students, and also have the ability to see things that they normally would not be able to see without traveling there. The next thing I'll show you is a little app called Stack of Countries. As a social studies teacher, we're always teaching our students different countries on how to label them and on the maps. And with this app, students can practice their ability to locate countries on a map and learn a little bit of knowledge about the countries and their flags and things like that. I have really enjoyed this app. I've downloaded it myself and paid the $3 for it. And I would probably buy this and install on some iPads at my school so my students could get some practice with labeling the maps and reinforcing those physical features and political features we have to label on the map. So this is a screenshot of one of the rounds I was playing. And the whole purpose is to stack the countries below the line and then get over the finish line. And you negotiate the pieces up here and allow them to fall. And they can't fall off the sides. So the whole goal is to stack them up where you can get to the finish line. So obviously I was very fortunate because I have a lot of background in social studies. I made my 100%. And it's actually pretty difficult. You can see Czechoslovakia as one of the countries that's labeled. I don't know a whole lot about that. The next app I want to show you is called Simple Mind. A lot of times teachers are trying to get their students to use mind mapping as a way to engage and think about their learning. And that's a really great way to assess to see if student learning is there and if they've grasped what you're trying to get them to learn. So I've actually set up a screenshot of one I was putting together on my phone about Latin America, which we just covered in my social studies class. And in Latin America, we covered 4 segments. You had history, government, geography, and economics. So from there, you can add extensions off of it. So for example, for government, we talked about parliamentary democracy as well as presidential democracy. And then for economics, we talked about mixed economies as well as command economies. So you can see how you could branch off this and really make it very elaborate if you wanted to. And I really enjoyed this app, and I could see it as being very beneficial for social studies as well as ELA for learning for concepts or setting up a paper even. So the next web app I want to show you, and last but least, is Socrative. And Socrative is a great tool. I've learned a little bit about this semester, and I'm going to try to implement this within my project. But it allows you to have a lot of options to engage student learning and collaborate with the teacher and see if they're getting those questions. So if you look at this question, you can see I've got this one says the diameter of the Earth is 8,000 miles. And I don't know exactly if that's true or not, but I'm going to say true. And I'll submit my answer. So once I submit that, I got it correct. And I can come over here and see that I got that right here in the class. So it shows that Jojo, the screen name that I created, got that one right. Now, the first question, obviously, it says it's wrong. I know that's right. The longest river in the world is the Nile. It's not the Amazon. They're very close, but the Nile is still the longest river in the world. I know that as a social studies teacher. But like I said, this just gives students the ability to have questions, and they can answer those multiple choice formats and submit those in. And it also allows you as a teacher to be able to cut down your grading with the physical papers, which is such a great asset to have in a modern classroom when we have instructors that need to be using more technology within their classroom. And it's good to be in the habit of thinking of how can I eliminate paper in my classroom. So this is just a great tool to use in the class, and it gives you real-time status to show you what questions the students are getting the most. And this gives you real-time data. I like that because I think there's a lot of times we need more data incorporated in the classroom, and teachers can use that to help understand what their students are getting and what they're not getting. So I hope this video helps, and I hope that you guys can glean something from it to gain an understanding of apps you can use within the classroom. This is Pete, and I'm signing out. Thank you.